Jason, what can you say about the character of your team coming back from twice from a goal down, both times down a man?
It's massive, massive. I continue to believe. I think I'm probably the biggest believer of this group, and maybe the biggest fan of this group as well. After tonight, it's amazing. I can't say enough because a lot of adversity, not just being down a goal, but then being down a man, suffering what I thought were a lot of strange decisions by the referee. And continuing to battle on, then scoring the goal to tie it, then giving away a goal right after it. Again, a decision with the referee I think is involved there. But our guys just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and my hat is off to them.
Missing a lot of guys, especially Ramondo Beckerman in that defensive part of your roster. How comfortable are you with your guys that you have out there tonight and for the rest of the month?
I think we have to be very comfortable. We have to be very comfortable to see a group like that has that much fight and that much spirit to come back in this game. Says a lot about them. Says a lot about their character. I don't think that the night wasn't the best night for some guys, soccer-wise, particularly in the first half. But they're not always going to have their best night, and what they did give was everything that they could, and that's really appreciated.
With a lot of the leaders gone, Javier Morales really kind of took up the role. Talk a little about his position today, how he contributed.
Yeah, I mean, we asked him to be the captain for a reason because he's really the glue not only in his position, linking the defending players to the attacking players, but also the glue culturally in the locker room between the Hispanic players and the American players. He's just such an important figure for us, has been since he's gotten here. I'm really, really pleased to see him reaping some rewards now for all the work and belief that he's had to come back through some bad injuries. So really, really pleased for him.
Can you talk about Josh Saunders and that one-on-one with Sebastian Letou?
That right there was the game, wasn't it? That was a game, and I could sort of feel it as it was going down. It's you rely on your goalkeepers to make big saves at the right time, and he made the absolute biggest save at the absolute best time.
Red card undeserved?
Am I going to go here or not? I'm going to go here. Okay. I think it needs to be said that referee was not ready to referee that game, in my opinion. I think he was in the wrong pool. That game, a sellout crowd, July 4th crowd, in front of our fans, and that atmosphere that we provide here is too much for what I think is a very inexperienced referee that doesn't have a real good feel for the game. And so I look at it this way. I don't think it's his fault. I'm not going to berate him for it. But I think that the person that makes that assignment ought to be thinking about that as we go forward, just the same as a coach does when he plays a young player when he's not ready in a big game. Somebody needs to think about that going forward, whether referees like that ought to be involved in that type of match and that type of atmosphere.
Coach, you said going back to the second goal by the Union, you said that part of that goal was referee's decision. Can you explain that?
Well, from where I stood, and I stood a long way away, I'll be honest, but Borcher's falling over at the edge of our penalty box. I'm not sure whether he stepped in a hole. There's no holes in our field. Or stepped on a shoelace. I don't know. But for Borchers to fall over the way he did, I think he had to have been fouled. And his reaction after that play clearly indicated that he thought he was fouled as well.
Jason, can you talk about your team's resilience coming back from a 1-0 deficit and then a 2-1 deficit?
You missed the beginning of the press conference, didn't you? You should maybe get notes from them.
I know you talked about Josh and that one-on-one, but I mean, just could you talk maybe expand on that a little bit more in terms of him going forward the rest of this month and how important he was as an acquisition this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were very, very fortunate. I think that we can say all we want about how these great decisions we make. Sometimes we just get lucky. And I think with Josh Saunders' situation, we got lucky. Because we came into the season, we were going to have just Nick and then Jeff Attinella, who's I don't think has one MLS appearance, has played a year in the second division, and Lalo. But as we went through the preseason and then started to hear more and more about Nick going to the Gold Cup and missing an entire month plus qualifiers, it became really, really important for us to find a goalkeeper with experience. And here comes Josh Saunders, lands on our lap. So really, really pleased that we have him. We're going to lean on him for this entire month, and you never know. Goalkeepers get injured too, so I feel awesome about our goalkeeping situation, as I do about every position on the field.
You've got a little bit of a layoff 10 days before your next match. How do you look at that? Is that a rest up?
You got it. You got it. The players are all leaving. I'm leaving right now. We're all going to take 4 days and get away from the game and rest up and relax and recuperate. And then we'll hit it hard next week and get ourselves prepared for Dallas.
Watch RSL take on Dallas on July 13th at 7 o'clock on Utah's CW30.